In this video, we're going to get started on installing the roof canopy. Okay, so where we left off in one of the previous videos, we completed installing the side screens. The purpose of these are to allow the canopy door covers to attach to this edge here. So these still need a strip of metal put on and the actual attachments which the side covers attached to. But before that gets done, we need to actually fit the main canopy to the moke to get everything into the right position. So this canopy, this is the Bali flower canopy. So it is actually a nice pattern, but it is a bit faded, but probably that's not a huge issue because it dulls it down a bit so it doesn't look too flowery. You can sort of see on the edge here what the original colours are like. Could go to the effort of individually painting every flower, but I don't think I'll be doing that. So we'll give this one a go, see how it goes. If it's not effective, if it's too old and it's shrunk too much, we'll probably look at getting one custom made based on this. The other parts, there's a couple of bows that go into the roof. So this one is the centerpiece. I've ordered the one for the rear, but that has not arrived yet. But there's a few jobs that we still need to do while we're waiting for that. So we'll get started on that. So one of the first jobs I need to do is sort out the attachments on the rear of the moke. What I actually did when I restored the moke, I actually just welded over and filled in all the holes because nothing lined up. So this actual canopy is not from this moke. This is one I've just picked up. So the holes don't always line up where they need to. Another factor we need to consider is shrinkage. So this, if you look at this strip of metal, that strip of metal goes into the back of the canopy here, that slides inside it. That actually gets, or this and with the piece of metal inside, gets screwed to the back of the moke. The holes on here are slightly out of alignment with this actual cover. So only by a small amount. I mean, if I start at one end, screw them in, pull on it, it should be fine. It isn't out by that much. So this actual rusty bit of metal, I'm going to replace this piece with a new piece of metal, but the actual spacing on here is the important thing. So all of these holes need to be drilled in the same spot on the new piece of metal. So that's what we will get started with. All right, so one of the first things we need to do is get the ends rounded off. So you can sort of see the end is rounded. That's just so it can slide into the fabric a bit easier. So it doesn't have to be perfectly round. And then because the height of this metal bar is less than the original, when I make the holes on it, I just need to make sure, just so things get tensioned properly, the bottom edge here, if that's facing down, that's facing up, line it up like that. So then the holes go in the right spot, because you want this metal bar, when it's inserted into the actual fabric, it needs to sort of sit at the bottom. That way it sort of tensions the canopy down to the back of the moke. All right, so let me prepare this bit of metal first, round off the end, get the holes in the right spot and cut it to the correct length. Okay, so good news, the rear bar finally came today. It's not too bad condition, there's a bit of rust on it, and mostly in like this piece here down the bottom, that's really bad, but just by luck, I have a spare one of these. This actually came with the Moke when I bought it, and luck would have it that it's the correct side, which is the rusty side, so I'll undo this one and then install that piece, and then we'll start to do a test fit. Okay, so let's undo that first of all. I think I just need a pair of pliers. It's like a split pin, but it's just really rusted. There we go, just broke straight away. Okay, I'll reuse that same bolt. We'll just take that part out. It does need a bit of repair on here. You can see the bottom part here, the welds come undone, but the whole purpose of what we want to do first is just get everything fitted to see how everything works, and then do any repairs afterwards. All right, I'll just go and grab a new split pin for that. Alright, so this piece here, I won't throw that away, because even though this end here is rusted, that can actually be repaired. If I'm not going to use it, I'll sell it. Someone will be desperately needing that piece. What I thought I'll do, I'll put the dimensions up, just in case anyone actually wants to try and make one of these. So the width is 116 centimetres, 116. The height, and I'm going to go from where the actual hole is on here to the top of the bar, that's 70 centimetres. And then to this point here, where that join is, I'll try and get it exact as I can. That's 45 centimetres. So then the height of this part here, just to where that bolt hole goes, would be the difference, 25. Alright, and the other thing too, it needs, like, to make sure that locks into place, I'm guessing it uses something like one of these R-clips to sort of go in there just to hold things. I'll use that for now, but that may not be the correct thing. But I'll need to grab another one, I'll pinch one off the box trailer. Alright, so just to check to make sure we've got things put together correctly, I'll show you how it will go when they're folded up. So the reason why this has a split on it, it's so it can be tensioned when you're putting up the canopy. And then of course it sits level with the back here. Alright, so what I want to try now is just fitting the actual canopy. I have put this on before, but obviously without the rear bar, it hasn't gone on with the rear bar. So what I'll do, I'll clip in the front first around the windscreen. Alright, so the concern is there still seems what looks like to be way too much shrinkage in it. But I mean, because this edge here needs to be fixed along here, but then the whole purpose of this latch allows you to sort of lift up the canopy and tension it. So it might be good just to get that bottom edge fixed into the back and then just see how it goes from there. Alright, so we're going to start making some holes in here now. I sort of heated it and did stretch it a bit. Hopefully it will be okay. So I've sort of worked out the actual width when it's going to be fully stretched. It's only a little bit more. So I've measured 6 centimetres in and to the edge of here, and then I'm going to put that first hole in. I've sort of raised it up a little bit because I know we're going to have issues with the tension, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so that very end piece is going to have one of these lift the dot fasteners. So that goes into that position. The actual screw thread on there doesn't seem to be long enough, but I'll see what I can do. Might have to just get a longer one. Because by the time that goes through there, doesn't actually stick through that much. See if I can get a longer one. Okay, so let's get these put in, just these additional screws. Keep in mind that it still needs to have the straps put in there, so this may need to come off again, obviously, when I do the straps that go underneath the canopy and connect to each of the roof bows. Okay, so what we've got done so far, I've got the canopy fitted and also the side panels. I just wanted to put them on just to see how they fit. So obviously the lift the dot fasteners aren't installed on the bottom yet because I need to sort of figure out the exact positions for those. Both sides sort of need to be done simultaneously so it's symmetrical. Also, there's a couple of lift the dot fasteners missing off the actual centre post. I do have some replacements, and then we can start sorting out the connectors on this side screen. So that's what we'll work on next. Alright, so let's talk about some issues here. So this edge here is where it's going to have the aluminium strip and then the connectors which will fit into these. So this actually will get connected from the inside. But if those connectors are sort of right on the edge of that panel, this lift the dot fastener doesn't quite reach that one. With a bit of stretching, maybe apply some heat to it, it should get there eventually. The other side, it's sort of the same, but not as bad. Might be a bit more play in that, push down on that. Might give us a little bit more room when it's sort of all attached. So I'll sort of mark on here, these 3 spots on that panel here, and then attach the aluminium and then the fasteners for those holes. All right, so the length of this strip, I'm just going to cut it so it covers the whole length of that side panel. All right, so let's mark this. So that's now cut to sort of fit down the edge. I'll figure out in a moment whether it's going to go on the inside or the outside. Probably the outside would make more sense. All right, what I'll do, make things easier, I'll actually just mark the plastic because that thing's just moving about. And pretty much you only need to mark on the very edge. I'll just put a little dot where that centre of that piece is, the connectors needs to be. Okay, so let's get this piece put on now. So I've drilled a hole in the top here, so I'm going to bolt that on first. That way it keeps the bar in the same spot. I'll do the bottom as well, and then progressively down we'll drill holes. So I'm actually going to put the bolt through this direction, and then the nut will be on the outside. It's kind of like how it's done here. Okay, so because these have to go through the actual pieces that hold them on as well, I'll try using the 15mm long screws just to see if that is better. Okay, so the last bit to sort of sort out on here now are the lift the dot fasteners for this section. This one is a bit still too high, but I don't know how much stretch we've got left in that. So it may actually get down there okay. That one's not a problem. And then this one here, so I need to work out where that's going to go, and then that one too. Because this one is sort of sitting right on the edge here. And we need to be able to remove this cover. So it may have to sort of sit in between on the actual crease. I know originally there was a hole around here somewhere that got filled up, so you can sort of see the difference in height. But again, this isn't the original canopy off this moke, so there would have been some variations. And I don't believe there was any hole for this fastener. Okay, so I've got the edges of the canopy all fixed down now. This isn't done probably how it should be, but it's just the way I've been able to do it because of the amount of stretch that has disappeared in that. But these are all sort of fixed on, the attachments hold down okay. So that's how it looks. There's a few things I still need to sort out, including there's like a clip that the metal bar sits into to hold it in place. I need to sort them out, and also the straps that run underneath, and then also put the actual little screws in to hold the canopy to the actual rails, or to the actual frame. That needs to be sorted. Okay, so the next part to work on now is the strapping. So this actual strap goes underneath the canopy, but between the bows, and the point of this is just to keep all the bows in alignment when you put the canopy, fold it down and bring it back up again. So I purchased this strapping just from Bunnings. It's made of nylon, so you can sort of heat up the edges to stop it from fraying. And this eyelet kit as well, I got that from Bunnings too. That allows you to put the eyelets in. So you need eyelets at the front end, and I'll show you where they go. Okay, so the lifted off fasteners, which are, I think, this position here, that one and the corresponding one on the other side, they're actually longer. So they allow that eyelet piece to sit in underneath there. So what I need to do is I probably need to release the tension out of the hood. I'll probably take off all the side pieces, release the tension, and then hook that piece underneath. Okay, so you can see the webbing underneath there. If you look on this side here, you'll see sort of like a faint faded black line. So that sort of helps in the position. So I've just got it sitting under there at the moment. And then of course down here, that's the end of it. So I need to sort of tuck it behind this section in there, and then it needs to actually be screwed to the back of the tail gate part. Okay, so I've tucked that strap through here now. I'm just trying to work out the best way to do this. I believe like originally it would have been like folded back, screwed on to the actual car before this piece goes on. Alright, so what I'll do to make sure I've got the length right, because I've just cut this shorter for now, if I just put it, this is a whiteboard marker, it's not a permanent marker. That way, when I take off the canopy, I know exactly where that needs to be for the tension of it to be right. So that strap doesn't actually tension the roof, it's there to keep the frame in the right spot when you put it up. Okay, so let's get this canopy on now. So what I've done now, I've got it actually screwed to the actual bars. So the screw goes through the canopy roof and also the black strap. Okay, so I managed to find the parts which are used to hold the metal bars on the door pieces in. So it's like a piece of rubber. They look very similar to the bonnet pieces. They're obviously just flat at the bottom. And then you use this metal piece that sort of goes inside it, and then that gets... I'm thinking the originals might be pop riveted or screwed down to the body in those pots. So one would go there, and then you'd have another one over here somewhere. So I'm not going to put these on just yet. I'll do that probably at a later stage. It's just in case I ever do upgrade this canopy and put one with zippers on, then it probably wouldn't use those. Okay, so I hope you found this episode a bit useful, sort of seeing how you actually fit one of these canopies. So I think I'll leave it there, and thanks for watching my videos.